It began with a tweet. A single line from Elon Musk's official account lit up every news feed across the country. If Representative Jasmine Crockett doesn't retract her baseless accusations, I will sue her for defamation. Enough is enough. The internet exploded. Musk was no stranger to drama, but threatening a sitting member of Congress was next level, even for him. What sparked it? During a House Oversight Committee hearing, Crockett had questioned SpaceX's federal contracts, alleging that backdoor lobbying and shadow partnerships were at play. She didn't mention Musk by name, but everyone knew who she meant. Within hours, Musk's legal team delivered a formal notice to Crockett's office. The message was clear: retract, or face legal consequences. But Jasmine didn't flinch. Instead, she calmly called a press conference and introduced someone no one expected, her lawyer. And that's when everything changed. Cameras clicked as Jasmine Crockett stepped aside and let her attorney take the mic. He wasn't flashy. No designer suit, no arrogant grin. Just a calm, commanding presence in a charcoal gray blazer. "My name is Marcus Harlan," he began, his voice smooth but firm. "And before Mr. Musk threatens another elected official, he might want to consider what we already know." Reporters leaned in. Even cable anchors paused mid-sentence. Harlan continued. "We have documentation, sealed emails, and testimonies from whistleblowers inside both Tesla and SpaceX. If Mr. Musk wants to open the door to discovery, we're more than ready." A ripple of unease swept through the room. He held up a folder. "This isn't just about defamation. This is about billions in taxpayer contracts and the influence of one billionaire on American policy." He glanced at the cameras. "And we're not backing down." The press erupted. Back in Texas, Elon Musk saw the clip go viral in real time. His reply tweet came minutes later: "Oh really? Let's dance." But he had no idea what was about to be revealed. By the next morning, #ElonLeaks was trending. Marcus Harlan's team didn't waste time. They released redacted portions of internal communications between senior SpaceX executives and federal procurement officials, emails that suggested gentle pressure from Musk had played a key role in bypassing routine bidding processes. One excerpt read, "Elon wants this deal closed by Q3. Use the senator's contact. If Jasmine Crockett keeps pushing, we'll deal with her the same way we handled the Alaska roadblock." That last sentence, cryptic, chilling, immediately raised alarms. What roadblock? What did "deal with" mean? Congress demanded answers. Crockett called for an emergency ethics investigation. And Musk? He went dark on Twitter. Behind the scenes, his legal team scrambled. Filing a lawsuit now would open Elon up to discovery, a process that could unearth even more damaging documents. But the pressure didn't stop there. The Department of Justice quietly reached out to Representative Crockett's office. Not to warn, but to listen. Because this wasn't just politics anymore. While the world dissected every word of the leaked emails, Representative Crockett's team was already steps ahead. Marcus Harlan stood before the press again, this time holding a single photograph. "This," he said, "is the so-called Alaska roadblock." The image showed a native environmental rights lawyer, Lena Talkeetna, who had publicly opposed a SpaceX satellite relay station planned on protected tribal land. She had mysteriously withdrawn her complaint 6 months ago without explanation, then vanished from public life entirely. Harlan's voice dropped lower. "According to our sources, Ms. Talkeetna was offered a settlement, but only after being threatened with personal surveillance, reputational destruction, and legal harassment." Gasps rippled through the press gallery. Crockett stepped forward beside him. "Elon Musk's threat to sue me was never about defamation," she said. "It was about fear. Fear that his pattern of silencing critics, especially women of color, is finally being exposed." As journalists scrambled for follow-ups, a new twist dropped from Capitol Hill. The House Oversight Committee voted 11-8 to subpoena Musk. Suddenly, Elon wasn't the one asking questions anymore. He was about to be under oath. The subpoena was no idle gesture. It came with teeth. Elon Musk was ordered to appear before the House Oversight Committee in 10 days. The stakes: allegations of improper influence, coercion of public officials, and possible obstruction of federal processes. Behind closed doors, Musk's legal advisors were divided. Settle quietly, one urged. Drop the lawsuit threat and avoid discovery. But Musk was defiant. If I show weakness now, I lose control of everything. He doubled down, hiring a PR crisis team and releasing a slick video dismissing the accusations as a political circus and branding Crockett's legal team as grifters pretending to be crusaders. But that strategy backfired badly. Because hours later, Marcus Harlan did what no one expected. He released a whistleblower affidavit from a former Tesla government liaison. In it, the former employee claimed Musk had personally ordered staff to keep tabs on Representative Crockett's activity and influence DC decision-makers to cut her funding channels quietly. The timing couldn't have been worse. The DOJ opened a preliminary inquiry. And just like that, Elon Musk's lawsuit threat had detonated into a full-blown federal investigation. 3 days before Elon Musk was due to testify, the most damning blow landed. Jasmine Crockett's team filed a motion to admit audio recordings into the House Oversight record, recordings allegedly captured during a private dinner between a former Tesla government strategist and a federal subcontractor. The content? An off-the-record conversation that included this line: Elon doesn't care who he has to crush. You put pressure on Crockett, make her feel the heat. She'll fold like the rest. The room went silent when the clip was played during a committee preview session. Even Musk's allies on the Hill couldn't spin it. Worse, sources inside the DOJ confirmed they were now considering witness intimidation charges, an escalation that Musk's team hadn't seen coming. Back at Tesla HQ, executives were in panic mode. Shareholders demanded answers. Stock dipped. Sponsors started pulling back from SpaceX's next launch event. And for the first time, Elon Musk did something no one expected: he called Jasmine Crockett's office. Personally. He didn't threaten. He asked to talk. Privately. But Jasmine's answer was swift and public: the time for private talks ended the moment you tried to silence the truth. See you at the hearing. June 23, 10 a.m. The hearing room was packed. Reporters. Lawmakers. Protesters outside with signs reading, "Billionaires aren't above the law," and "Stand with Crockett." Elon Musk arrived flanked by lawyers, visibly tense for the first time in public memory. No memes. No bravado. Just silence. Representative Jasmine Crockett sat confidently across the aisle, flanked by Marcus Harlan and several members of her legal advisory team. Her expression? Calm, collected, like she had been waiting for this moment. Committee Chair Representative Devers opened, "Mr. Musk, this is a voluntary hearing. But we remind you, anything you say here today may be used in a federal inquiry already in progress." Musk cleared his throat. Understood. The questioning began. For the first hour, Musk dodged, deflected, and carefully danced around answers. But then Representative Crockett was handed the microphone. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't grandstand. Instead, she pulled up the Tesla strategist's wiretap transcript and read it line by line. Then, she stared directly at Musk. "Do you deny orchestrating a private campaign to discredit a sitting member of Congress using corporate resources?" Elon froze. His lawyer leaned in, whispering frantically. Musk finally responded. "I'll invoke my Fifth Amendment right, on that question." The room gasped. This wasn't just optics. It was confirmation. The headlines were instant: Elon Musk pleads the Fifth before Congress, silence speaks loudest. Musk's decision to plead the Fifth rippled like a shockwave through Washington and Wall Street. Within 24 hours, SpaceX lost 2 defense contract bids. Tesla's stock dropped 11%. Several senior execs at both companies resigned quietly, including the government liaison tied to the wiretap. Meanwhile, Representative Jasmine Crockett launched a new bipartisan bill, the Corporate Accountability and Federal Influence Act, aimed directly at curbing the kind of private leverage Musk was now accused of wielding. And that's when Marcus Harlan dropped his final card. In a letter to the DOJ, Harlan revealed they had one more whistleblower, an internal compliance officer from SpaceX, willing to testify that Musk had knowingly misled federal agencies about satellite data sharing protocols with unnamed third parties. Not just corruption. National security implications. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Crockett anymore. Elon Musk now had the full weight of federal scrutiny pressing down on him, from Congress, from the SEC, and from the Department of Justice. And still, he hadn't backed down. Instead, he booked an exclusive one-on-one interview with the only person bold enough to take him on live, Judge Judy. The network billed it as Unfiltered, Elon Musk vs. Judge Judy, and it broke viewership records before the cameras even rolled. Judy Scheindlin didn't waste time. "Mr. Musk," she said bluntly, "you're used to being the smartest guy in the room. But today, you're in mine. So let's get one thing straight, did you threaten Rep. Crockett with a lawsuit to silence a federal investigation?" Elon smirked. "That's a gross mischaracterization." Judy raised an eyebrow. "You threatened a sitting congresswoman. Now you're pleading the fifth in hearings. Are you hiding something, or just scared the public finally sees who you really are?" Musk shifted in his seat. "I'm protecting my rights. That's not fear." Judy leaned forward. "No. That's spin. And it doesn't work on me." The crowd gasped. The interview turned combative. Musk defended his companies, painted himself as a misunderstood innovator, and accused Crockett of political theater. But Judy shut it down with a single line, "Elon, when you're used to getting away with everything, accountability feels like persecution. But it's not. It's justice." The clip went viral within minutes. Back in D.C., Marcus Harlan tweeted just 2 words, "Next phase." And Jasmine Crockett? She smiled quietly. Because the real battle was just beginning. The morning after the Judge Judy interview aired, Elon Musk's world started unraveling, fast. The DOJ formally announced a grand jury investigation into Musk's companies for potential witness tampering, obstruction of congressional oversight, unauthorized data transfers involving national defense systems, but that wasn't all. In a coordinated move, the SEC froze key Tesla assets pending review of fraudulent disclosures made to shareholders about federal partnerships. And then came the biggest shock: the Pentagon suspended all active contracts with SpaceX, citing ongoing legal uncertainties and serious compliance concerns. In just 48 hours, Elon Musk lost more government power than most CEOs gain in a lifetime. Meanwhile, Representative Jasmine Crockett held a quiet press conference. No podium. No shouting. Just a simple statement: this was never personal. It was about accountability. No one is untouchable, not even Elon Musk. Then, she thanked Marcus Harlan and stepped away without taking questions. America watched, stunned. For once, a billionaire's threats hadn't silenced a critic. Instead, they'd lit a fuse. It was prime time when the final blow landed. An exclusive 60-minute special aired across the nation, Inside SpaceX, the whistleblower's testimony. Seated in shadow with her voice digitally altered, the former SpaceX compliance officer, codenamed Echo, revealed what she claimed Musk never wanted made public. "We were told to flag certain members of Congress as hostile entities. Crockett was at the top of the list. There were internal memos, actual playbooks, on how to pressure, isolate, and if needed, destroy their credibility." She continued, "When I raised concerns, I was told, directly, if Elon wants them gone, they're gone." Viewers were stunned. Screenshots of the internal directives flashed across TV screens. But one moment silenced the nation. Echo recounted a private meeting where Musk allegedly said, "We don't just make rockets, we shape outcomes. If DC doesn't play ball, we'll buy the game." The fallout was immediate. Lawmakers demanded criminal referrals. A bipartisan coalition called for the revocation of every federal contract awarded to Musk's companies in the past 5 years. Protesters surrounded Tesla factories. Hashtags like #TooMuchMusk and #StandWithCrockett dominated every trending list. And just when the storm seemed unbearable, Elon Musk's legal team announced he would step down as CEO of SpaceX. The resignation letter was short. "I'm stepping aside to focus on personal matters and allow SpaceX to operate without distraction." Elon Musk, but it wasn't voluntary. Insiders confirmed it was the board's final ultimatum. Within a week, Tesla followed suit. Under intense shareholder pressure and federal scrutiny, Musk was removed from all operational roles. His once ironclad empire had fractured, publicly and irreversibly. In Washington, Representative Jasmine Crockett stood on the House floor and introduced the final version of her bill, the Federal Ethics and Accountability in Lobbying Act, now co-sponsored by Republicans and Democrats alike. It passed 402 to 33. When reporters asked her how it felt to go up against one of the most powerful men in the world and win, she simply said, "This wasn't a victory for me. It was a warning to anyone who thinks money makes them untouchable. We're done playing by their rules." Marcus Harlan, now a rising national figure, was invited to speak at major law schools across the country. And Elon? He retreated from public view. No tweets. No interviews. Just silence. His legacy, once built on innovation and ambition, now carried an asterisk: the man who tried to silence truth, and lost.